Alex here from Brotherly Love Real Estate, and today we are going to talk about how to find the right buyer for your property. Whether you live in Bucks County, Montgomery County, Delaware County, or in the city of Philadelphia itself, we have some tips today that will help you find the right buyer for your house, whether you live there or whether you don't. It could be a rental property, it could be a vacant lot, it might not even be a house, it could be lots of things. Today we will talk about how to find the right buyer and things you can do to improve your chances of getting the offer that you're looking for. First, you need to ask yourself this very important question: who will buy your house? Is it going to be one? It's going to be one of two things, right? Usually, it will typically be an owner-occupant buyer or an investor, right? House flipper, let's say. Those are typically the two subgroups of buyers who will make you offers to purchase your property in these counties and in Pennsylvania. So if you're selling to an owner-occupant, that means it's someone who's going to live in the property. It could be a family. It could be someone who's single and they just want to live there for a year or two and own their first property. It could be a first-time homeowner. It could be a family who's planning on setting up their roots and living there for 20, 30 plus years. So the reason why we ask ourselves that question and trying to identify who will buy our house, that helps us, basically market the property the right way because we know who we're marketing to. Makes sense, right? So if you're planning on selling your home and you're pretty confident an owner-occupant will be the right fit and will be the majority of the people who will be making you offers on your property, you want your property to look nice, for sure. Unless there's crazy high demand and there's bidding wars and even the owner-occupant family buyers don't care about the condition of the house because of the demand in your area, then you need to have a decent-looking house to help your odds with the light initiative there. It helps to have your property in good condition if a family's gonna take on the house and buy it themselves and live there for a while, right? Certain families, certain owner-occupants, maybe it's not even a family, certain people who are owner-occupants planning on living there, they might be pretty handy. They might be a DIY type of person where they can just go in there and fix the property themselves, and they're okay if the kitchen is outdated 20 years. They're okay if they have to change, fix the roof or fix the leaks, anything like that. But not everyone is that handy, so you need to know that going into it. So if you think you're selling to an owner-occupant type of buyer, here are the tips I recommend. Clean your property, get it professionally cleaned, or if you feel like you can clean it professionally, then I would recommend cleaning it as much as you can. That'll help with open houses and help with the marketing. Number 2, take professional photos after you clean it, of course, and that will help highlight the property to people online. Owner-occupants care more about photos usually, so that's important. And then thirdly, I would try and maybe do some repairs, fix it up. If there's major repairs that might deter owner-occupants and families from buying your property, I recommend fixing those before you even start marketing the property. For example, the kitchen. If the kitchen's totally outdated and lots of things are broken in the kitchen, that's a huge selling point, is the kitchen of the property. Sometimes that's the most important feature, some would argue, if they plan to live there. So I recommend fixing the kitchen, possibly updating it a little bit. Second, the bathrooms. Bathrooms are usually number 2 after the kitchen in terms of importance for an owner-occupant buyer. So fix up the bathrooms, make them look nice, clean, and then maybe repair the sink if the sink is broken. Maybe put a new shower in there if the shower is outdated 10, 15 years. Things like that will help increase your offers, honestly, from the owner-occupants at least. And then any leaks or any major scuffs, holes in the wall, things of that are more like patchwork, I recommend just doing that, and that'll definitely help your property in terms of receiving offers from owner-occupants. Second group of potential buyers are the investors, the house flippers, the hedge fund buyers. It could be anyone, really. It could be someone from out of state. It could be someone from out of the country who just is looking to buy property as an investment. They are usually they don't care as much about the accessories and the shininess of a property. They're not as scared away by things like that. So if you think that there's a lot of landlords nearby, a lot of house flippers, a lot of new construction going on, there's a good chance that an investor might be interested in my property, then you won't need to necessarily go as all out with the repairs, with the cleaning, with the renovations before you sell it and start to market your property. That's because typically, if if it's a house flipper, they might actually just renovate the entire property anyway, especially if it's outdated. I recommend that too. If it's, definitely ask yourself and talk to some professionals, but if it's an outdated property, even if it's in good condition, don't feel like you have to update everything before you start selling it if a landlord or an investor may take it on after you. Typically, they might just renovate the whole thing themselves, so it doesn't even matter. And it might seem like it adds value and makes sense to do, but if they're just planning on doing those renovations themselves anyway, it might not make as much sense for you to do it. So it makes your job a little easier in terms of preparing it for the market. But those are my a few tips depending on which subgroup of buyers may be interested in your property. So just ask yourself that, do a little bit of research. You can always talk to a professional. Feel free to call us if you have questions at Brotherly Love Real Estate. We buy houses all throughout Philadelphia and the nearby counties, Bucks County, Montgomery County, and Delco. So happy to share our insight with you if you have questions on your community, your neighborhood, and what's going on.